Okay, now for section 5.2.25, the following table shows the distribution of murders by type of weapon for murder cases in a particular country over the past 12 years. And we're going to complete parts A through E. So here's the weapon. You have handgun all the way to rifle, shotgun, unknown firearm, knives, hands, fists, etc., and other. And then here is the probability. Okay, so here is our table. So the first thing that the question is asking us is that the given table a probability model, why or why not? So if it's a model, that means that we cannot have any negative numbers as a probability, and it needs to be in between 0 and 1, and then we also need to know that when you add these all up, it's got to equal 1. So we're going to check the first rule. If the probabilities of all events, that is, murder by any different weapons in the table, are greater than or 0 and less than or equal to 1. So that works. And then we're going to check the second rule. We're going to sum together the probabilities of all outcomes. That is, to sum together the probabilities for all the different types of murder weapons. So if we add all those numbers up, it gives us 1. So therefore, we can proceed because now it is a probability model. Now for part B, it's stating that what is the probability that a randomly selected murder result from a rifle or shotgun. So again, we're going to use the addition rule for disjoint events to find the probability. The rule states that if event E and F are disjoint or mutually exclusive events, then we're going to use the following formula. The probability of event E or F, which is equal to the probability of event E plus the probability of event F. So, therefore, we're looking for the probability of a rifle or shotgun. So that's going to equal the probability of a rifle plus the probability of a shotgun. So if we look over here, the probability of a rifle is 0.027. So therefore the probability of a rifle is 0.027. The probability of a shotgun is 0.031. And if we add those together, then we get 0.058. So the probability of a rifle or shotgun becomes 0.058. The next question states that what is the probability that a randomly selected murder result from a handgun, rifle, or shotgun? Now there's many ways to go about this situation. We can either say that the probability of a handgun, I'm going to abbreviate that as H, or a rifle, or a shotgun is equal to the probability of the handgun plus the probability of a rifle plus the probability of a shotgun. But since we have already found the probability of a rifle or shotgun, we don't need to do that separately. Now, if it was, and we did this, and this was just a separate question, then you would do it that way. But since in the previous question we have found the probability of a rifle or shotgun, we already know that it's 0.058. And then we're going to add the probability of the handgun, which tells us it's 0.471. And when we add them all together, it's going to give you 0.529. Now the next question states that what is the probability that a randomly selected murder resulted from a weapon other than a gun? So if we're not going to look at the gun, we need to find out what is the probability of a weapon other than a gun. Well, we know that knives are represented as not a gun. We know hands and fists and etc. are not a gun. And then other would be considered not a gun as well. So we're eliminating everything else that's considered a gun. So that means we're finding the probability of knives, which is 0.135, plus the probability of hands, fists, and etc., which is 0.135, which is 0.061, plus the probability of other, which is 0.129. And if we add those together, then we get 0.325. Okay, now the next question says, are murders with a shotgun unusual? Now again, typically an event with a probability less than 0.05 is considered unusual. we're going to use the table in the problem statement to find the probability that a randomly selected murder resulted from a shotgun and compare it to 0.05. Well, if we look at the probability for shotgun is 0.031. And since it is less than 0.05, then murders with a shotgun are considered unusual.